Hey guys, welcome to another video, and today we're gonna look at kind of a ranking of my spring palettes. So these are all the palettes that either I feel like have some spring theming or spring color story, or just palettes that I want to use more in the spring. And I'm gonna rank them from worst to best. All of these are great, it's just from my least favorite formulas, color stories, and stuff like that to my most favorite. So I pulled all the spring themed palettes from my collection, and we're gonna talk about them. So if you're interested, definitely keep on watching. We have here 11 palettes, and the kind of worst, or the number 11, is this Feral palette from Menagerie Cosmetics. And the reason for that is, I don't know what's about this color story, but I just don't really gravitate towards this palette as much. I love the yellows and these kind of like reddish oranges and the greens. Even the like bubblegum pink, I think it's really pretty, but there are some shades that kind of threw me off, like these two. I don't really like the way they look. These two greens are nearly similar, and I never really used this beigey shade, so for me this palette could be smaller, and I don't really like this shimmer, so for me this palette mostly has two shimmers, and I don't really wear pink shimmers that much. So then it's only on this green one, which is pretty shimmer, but because it also doesn't really have any inner corner highlight, I don't know, this palette kind of, I like the look of it, but I never really bring myself to use it, and I sometimes get really confused what can I do with this, and I pretty much repeat the same 3 looks. So yeah, I will try to use this one more, but I'm kind of on the fence about this palette, even though I really like the quality. So this is number 11. Then we have number 10, and it's this Essence palette from last year, I think. It's with the collaboration, it's in collaboration with Jurassic World. The reason why it's here is because of these yellows and greens. I think that kind of speaks spring to me, especially this green. It's very light and very like cute green, so I put it here. The reason why it's so low, even though I like this quality, the shimmers aren't like the most opaque or blinding, you know, but it's a good palette for kind of like everyday use. But it's really small, it doesn't really have a lot of options, and I don't wear neutrals very often, so that's why it's here. But I love the look that I created with this, and I definitely want to use the greens in this palette again. Then number 9 is this really old palette that I love to use in the spring and in the summer, because it's pretty much only yellows and golds, and I really love this shade. It's such a nice, like very orangey yellow. This also has highlighters in it, which I think is really useful, and I use those highlighters the most. But yeah, I love these shades. I love these two shimmers. I think they're gorgeous. And since this is probably my last year of using this palette, because it's really old and I want to kind of declutter it, I will definitely use it a lot more now to kind of enjoy it for the last time. So yeah, it's this Essence Wanna Be My Honey, and yeah, I love this quality. Number 8 is this Oden's Eye Alva 2 Mini First palette. The reason why it's here is, even though I love these golds and greens and even this purple shade, even this pink shade. And these blue shades, I always have to use it with other palettes. I can't create any looks with this on its own. So for me, this is a companion palette. That's the only reason why it's here. Otherwise, I love the color story, and I think all of this is very spring to me. So since I also have it on my project pan list, I will be using this very often, maybe even too often, because I wanna pen this palette. So that's this little mini palette from Oden's Eye. And yeah, I think it's really cute, and it's a very fun companion palette, and as I said, it's perfect spring color story. Then the next palette on the number 7 spot is this Ace Beauté Tropical Vibes palette. It's technically more summery palette, I guess, or even maybe autumn palette, but it has some of these really nice greens and like yellows and neons, and some of the oranges, and I really love these two shimmers that I think are really bright and fun. So and also I didn't really use this palette in the last couple months that often. I think I used it mostly on around autumn, and then I kind of stopped using it and only brought it a couple times. So I want to focus on this palette throughout the spring and summer a little bit more, so that's why it's also here. And I think you can do really fun looks with these greens and the more oranges and stuff like that. So I definitely want to use this one more. And I also love that you have a lot of like different tones that you can kind of mix in with other palettes and create really, really fun looks. So yeah, this one definitely will be, I will be featuring this a little bit more now. Then we have two palettes from Game Beauty. This one is a new palette. I just made a video with using this and creating 4 looks with this a couple days ago. So if you want to see that, definitely check it out. And if you want to see more looks, they are also here in the short format as like get ready with me's. So if you want to see more about this and also this palette, I've created a couple more looks with this. I think number 6 will be the Fantasy palette, because out of these two, I think this one is more spring for me, and also I like the color story better in this and the quality in this slightly more. But this one also has some really nice, more like pastel-y shades, and I love the blues. I think these like really pastel-y blues are perfect for spring, with some of these purples, and obviously the pastels that I think go great with this palette. So I love it, and I will be using it more since it's new, and I want to get the most uses out of it. And what I love about these palettes is they're really quick to use. Like, you can get the most dramatic looks. That's why I want to use them more in the spring and summer, because I don't really go for the most like dramatic looks. I try to make it more pastel-y and like more airy and very sweet. So I think these palettes are perfect for it. And also I won't really have a lot of time in the spring and summer, in the beginning of the summer, to really play with my makeup as much as I normally do, and I won't have as much time to create like more structured looks. And so for the daily kind of usage, I think these are great, because seriously, every time I use these palettes, I'm done with my makeup so quickly. So these are perfect if you just want to wear something colorful, but you don't have a lot of time to blend it and all that. These are really, really quick to use. Then we have this Adventure palette. This one I used many times because A, it's green, and B, I actually really love this, and I love this kind of variety that you don't only have the greens here, but you have the oranges, golds, and I love the purple. And I love how you can mix these together to create really stunning looks. So this one definitely will be used a lot. Then number 4 is this Sweet as Can Be palette from Colourpop. I love Colourpop formula, and I think I love it for the same reasons that I love the Game Beauty formula. It's really easy to use. You, at least the palettes that I have, you can really create the most like dramatic looks that you can imagine, because they don't really go really deep and dark for me, but they're really easy to use, and you can create very wearable everyday looks. So I definitely recommend trying Colourpop if you want something that you can just put on and be quick about it. This is the Winnie the Pooh palette, the Sweet as Can Be palette. I love this color story. I think this is perfect for spring. I love these greens and these like mustardy yellows and stuff like that, and I love these more like muted, like lavendery purples. I think this is really cute palette. I love this pink shimmer. I think this would be perfect as a kind of blush highlighter duo. You know, if you want to try to use it on your face, it's really nice formula. I tried it once and I think it looked cute. So it's the Sweet as Can Be, and then on the 3rd place is this Tinkerbell palette, Sprinkle a Little Magic, called Sprinkle a Little Magic. I like this one slightly more because I think this one has a little bit better formula, especially with the mattes. Some of the mattes in the Winnie the Pooh are kind of satiny, like you can see that they have a little bit of sparkle in them, and they're not, they're a little bit like drier, I think, in comparison to these mattes that are extremely easy to blend out. And you have only 4 mattes, so the kind of crease will be always the same or very similar, but you have really cool shimmers, and again, it's a really easy palette to use. These palettes are magnetic, so if you want to just pop some of those shades and just take some of them, you can, or you can, if you have other magnetic eyeshadows, you can kind of switch it up. So I think this is a really nice palette, and I love the green shimmers in here. I think especially these two are extremely sparkly and very nice, so I have to use this one more. I always feel so cute when I use it. So, and also I feel like if you want to wear green but still make it like very everyday and kind of neutral, I think these are perfect for it. They're not as scary for someone who doesn't wear green makeup, so would recommend. I don't know if it's still available, but if you find it somewhere, definitely would recommend. It's very small, it's very easy to carry. And then we have the last 2 spots. So number 2 will be this Hela palette from Oden's Eye in collaboration with Angelica Nyquist. This is discontinued. It launched last year. I think it was like somewhere around the spring. And I love this palette, especially for the more yellowy shades, and also these like really, this bubblegum pink. I think this definitely goes well with the spring theme, and like I really like to use these colors around spring. Also these extremely like grassy green shades, I love them, so I definitely will be using this one a lot. I used it mainly last year around the time it launched and when I got it, and also throughout the summer, but now I kind of didn't use it as much because I had other palettes that I was trying that were kind of newer, but I'm definitely getting back on this because this palette is just stunning. It's amazing and the quality is everything, so I'm so sad it's discontinued because yeah, it's perfect palette. And on the first spot I decided to put this Sulmona 2 palette from Oden's Eye. The reason why I put it here is I want to use it more because it's a beautiful palette and I haven't been using it a lot lately. And also I love these pastel shades. It's almost like a rainbow palette. You don't really have greens, but I have other green palettes. And you don't have like maybe a couple of the reds and stuff like that. But I think overall this is pretty pastel-y palette. And I love it especially for the lighter shades. I think these are amazing for spring and summer. You have some blues, you have some like yellows and oranges, you have some really cute purples, so I definitely need to use this more. And it's also great to just have like one palette that's slightly bigger like this, and then you can just take a little bit smaller palette for some special shades. So I think this will be definitely one of the main palettes for me throughout the spring. And I love the quality of these. I think the mattes, these are extremely buttery and easy to work with, and the shimmers, these lighter shimmers, especially the purple one and then this like tealy, turquoisey, greeny one, are more toppers, and then the darker shimmers are like really impactful, really with a lot of color. But these two especially are more toppery, I would say. So I love the kind of diversity that you can find in this, and it's not as big of a palette, so it's easy to carry everywhere, and it's nice and colorful and bright, and I just really love the way this looks, and I definitely want to use it more. So yeah, these are all my palettes that I want to use more in the spring. Let me know if you like this style of video. I saw it somewhere on TikTok, I think, and I really liked it, so I thought I could try to create a full video about this. And let me know if you have some of these palettes and if you will bring them back for the spring, or if you use them all year round. And let me know what is your favorite spring palette. Hope you're having a great day, and I will be happy to see you soon. Bye!